Okay, today we're going to cover how to install the bees with the beebus. Everything you're going to learn here in the next few minutes will also apply to a standard wooden package, but hopefully you're using these and that's how you found our website. What you see here right now is this is an empty box. I'm going to show you how it works. There's two little tabs up here. Sometimes you have to grab one tab and you slide the cover off. Once you get that cover off, you're going to have one of two types of queen cages in it. You're going to have the traditional Kelly 3-hole or a small JZ, BZ type cage. They're down in the corner here. Can of food, and of course this is going to be full of bees. Just a minute. What you're going to do is, if you have the Kelly 3-hole cage, you're just going to lift that cage up out of there, flip it over, start the queen, make sure she's in good shape. You're going to have to look for the end that has the candy on it. You should be able to see here, nice big white patch of candy. You're going to dig that cork out of there. Use any sharp instrument you got. Get it out of there. And then you're going to attach that queen to your frame. If you're using new foundation, the easy way I find is a rubber band. Put her in there and simply put the rubber band around her. I like to put them face down so I know she's getting fed. Make sure, again, that the cork is out of the end with the candy in it. The other bees are going to eat through that candy and release her in the course of a day or two. Set that frame in there, just like that, nice and easy. And then we're actually going to install the bees by putting them on this side. Before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about the other type of queen cage. The other type of queen cage is actually hanging in with the bees. Makes it a little harder to get out, but not real difficult. What you're going to do is you're going to take the box, wrap it gently, put your thumb on that cage so it doesn't come loose, pull the can out of the hole, grab the cage firmly, don't drop it in the hole, put your can back in. Here you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to pull the cap off. This should be filled with candy again. Make sure the queen's alive and running around real well. What you're going to do with that cap off then is the same thing you did here. Instead of the wooden box, you're going to slide the JZ cage up under that rubber band. Okay, you can stick them in the foundation or anything else if you have that. Like I said, a rubber band seems to work very well for me. I'm going to set that back down in there with either queen cage you have. You're going to set your package in here in this space where you took some frames out. Real simple procedure. We'll talk about shaking them in a minute, but it's not necessary. The cage was designed so you could do this without having a ton of bees in the air. What you want to do is make sure this queen is as far as you can get her from your box. So you're going to put her over here next to one of these other frames on the outside, just like that. Once she's in there, you're going to take this can out, just like that. Take your cover, set it on top of your package. Over the next hour or two, these bees mostly are going to migrate up out of this box and come over to this hive. They're going to check out the inside of the box, the inner cover, and everything. After a couple hours, you're going to come back, pull the lid open. I suggest you do use smoke, but it's not necessary. They won't be very aggressive yet. You're going to take this box out. There may be a few bees on it yet or in it. You can set it down on the ground next to you. Put your missing frames and feeder or anything else you have back in the box. Close it up. The bees are in this box. You will find any that are left will migrate over there by nightfall. Okay? That's the basics of how you actually install a package. Now we're actually going to do it. You will notice that in my hives here I have some drawn comb and I do work on pallets. You probably don't have those privileges. Those are things that I have in my yard. As I mentioned, we have the two types of cages. This has a JZ cage. You can see there's no yellow cage sticking here. So what we're going to do is slide this cover. Now, as you can see right here is the tether for that JZ, as well as the faces of the actual bees sticking up out of there. What we're going to do is just exactly like I mentioned, wrap it down, put your thumb on there, pull the can out. Notice a couple bees escape, not too many. There's a couple in the air. Just for the record, do not do this without a head net. I'm doing it so that the mic picks up all the noise. Occasionally you will get a bee in a package that is not very happy. Okay. Check to make sure the queen is rolling around like she should. You can see she's very active in there. I am in an active bee yard, so there are some wild bees running around here. Okay, she's in there. I take it off. You can see the candy that's in there. We're going to simply set this package down right there. Pull up my frame with a rubber band. Set the queen in there. Very active. Slide this back down in here. And in this case, I'm going to get a cover right away so there's not a lot of bees zipping around. Once again, if I took a little time, I'm going to wrap this box just a little bit. Pull the can out of there. Put the cover on it. Can has syrup in it. If there's some left, you can save it and feed it back to your bees, or you can discard it. I'm going to let this hive sit for a couple of hours. When I come back, I'm simply going to pick that up. As you can see, the bees will start to work out of there, and by that time most of them will be clustered here. Okay. I'm going to leave this one alone for now, and I'm going to show you the other way to install bees using the same package, just a little different. As you can see, here I have a second package. This particular one has the Kelly or Cohen style 3-hole cage. Again, I slide the cover off, set it off to the side, pull my queen out. I'm going to take a quick look, make sure she's in good shape. It's a little more difficult usually with this type because there are attendants in there, so you have to decide which one actually is the queen. Once you know you have her, pop that cork out of the end. See, the candy is exposed. Okay. This is one of my hives that already has drawn foundation in it. You'll find packages do real well on drawn foundation. So I'm going to take out a couple of frames, just like that. I'm going to slide them over. I'm just going to poke some of that foundation down with my thumb. I'm going to put her in there face down, and I'm going to close the other frames up to her. Just nice and tight. Make sure she's set in there, and you're happy with the bar spacing. I'm going to come over and take a little closer look at that. Can you see that? Okay, she's jammed down in there nice and tight. In this case, this is a pretty good sized package, so I'm going to take out one more frame of bees. If you look, there's a nice large space. Bees, if you have a little bit of syrup at home, I have a big bottle, so a little squirt bottle with sugar water in it, be sprayed on the mesh, keep the bees just a little bit calmer, and helps keep them fed. Okay. Again, I'm going to slam the bees down just a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the box in my left hand. My right hand, I'm going to take a hive tool, simply pop the end of the box open. I want to do this somewhere close to the hive. If you watch, all the bees go dumping out. Just that simple. What I'm going to do now is pull this flap back with my hand and tap very lightly on the box. Pretty well accomplished. As you can see, there's a lot more bees in the air. In this case, they're not very aggressive. If you look in the hive, you'll see they're all wandering around. You can watch this video anywhere on the internet. Okay. Simply set your frames back in. Sometimes they won't set down very well because they'll be on bees. Just let them sit. The bees will move out of the way very quickly. In this case, because of the queen cage, I'm going to have trouble getting this last frame in, so I'm going to hold off. Come back in a day or so and put that frame in after I check the queen. Once again, just carefully set your cover on there, trying very hard not to crush too many bees. Any bees that are in the gap will get out of the way fairly quickly. They don't like being squished. There you have it. Pretty simple install using the beebus. One without any bees in here, one with quite a few. Both work. Just for kicks, let's open this up and see how well they're doing at moving out of here. But generally, you're going to let it sit for 2 hours. Yep, you can see they're starting to crawl out of there already. In a couple hours, we'll come back, pull that box out of there, set the frames back in, and we're good. Are you on? Okay. We're here to finish up the installation that we started yesterday. We ended up going overnight because of the fact we ran into a little rain last night, and I just left the package in there, but I did peek at them, and an hour or two afterwards most of them were out. As you notice, again, I don't have a head net on. I don't recommend that. Put your gear on, make sure you're good, but you won't need any smoke yet. These bees have been in this hive now for close to 16, 18 hours. Yesterday afternoon. It's bright and early in the morning. I'm going to show you what we've got here. See the activity in front. All these bees are orienting. They're not defensive, not bothering you a bit. Open up the hive. And what you see is something clinging on the roof in here. And if you take a quick look here, you can see that our package in here is pretty well empty. There's a couple dummies left down in the bottom, pretty rare. You can set them on the ground. Last night there were a few more in there. You can let the last ones finish out. So what you're going to do now is get the rest of your frames, stick them back in the hive, and if you notice, as I mentioned, they are not defensive. They're not excited. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put my hive back together. You may have strictly foundation. In my case, I actually have in division board feeder and a couple of frames of drawn comb. I'll come back in just a little while and fill that feeder up. You want to make sure your package has plenty of food right off the bat. A real simple reason for that, it's not that they can't forage, it's that a percentage of these bees, only about 10% are foragers. The rest of them are in the hive waiting for the foragers to bring food back. If you can get food in the hive or the front door, these bees that are not foragers can actively pursue that, and it'll help the hive considerably. So this hive's now ready to go. We're going to close it up, come back in a couple of days and make sure that our queen got released, and you're good to go. As for your package, send them back if you can, recycle them if you need to. If you want to shake the last couple of bees out, you can do that. Just open the end of the hive here and get them out. Generally speaking, if you just leave them sit here, within an hour or two they will be all gone, guaranteed. I think there's 2 in there at the moment that are still alive. Thanks.